when we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright.
Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Robin and this is Faith and Flour. Today is a relaxing, everyday clean with me to give you some motivation to start your week. If you're new here, I want to invite you to subscribe and join our Faith and Flour community. And if you're not following me on Instagram, make sure you do that so that you can get more of what you love here at Faith and Flour. This morning, I'm washing our bedding, starting with our silk pillowcases. I wash them separately in the gentle cycle, and when it's hot and dry in the middle of the summer here in Texas, they dry in no time if I hang them outside.
Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright.
The next thing I need to get started after the laundry is my sourdough. So in order to make English muffins, I have to feed my starter, give it enough time to rise, and then I can use the starter to make a dough, which then has to sit overnight. So by tomorrow morning, I will be ready to make them, and we can have them for breakfast or use them for bread for our sandwiches, which we have really been enjoying. It sounds complicated, but it's really not, and once you get in the rhythm of it and you learn that you have to plan ahead a little bit, it makes the whole process really worthwhile, and each step only takes a couple of minutes. It's just the timing of everything. If you're familiar with sourdough, you'll know that every time you feed it, you have to discard half of it, and I hate to be wasteful, so this jar that is labeled pancakes is for that discarded sourdough starter. After a couple times of feeding the sourdough, I usually have enough left over to make pancakes. They're super easy to mix up, and my family loves them, so we'll have them for breakfast and sometimes even dinner. For those of you that have been with me for a while, you'll know that our son Peyton can't have gluten, and these do have gluten. So whenever I make up the pancakes, I just whip up a batch of Peyton's gluten-free pancakes that he loves. They're easy to make, and he can have those when we're enjoying the sourdough ones. Now that my starter is fed, I will leave it out here on the counter and continue with the other things that I have on my list of to-dos. used to always iron our sheets, but lately I have been trying to pull them out of the dryer whenever possible while they're still warm so I can skip that step. Back in the kitchen, the dishes that I left out on the countertop to dry aren't quite dry, so I'm going to finish them off and get them put away. For me, one of the easiest ways to have an appearance of a clean kitchen is by tidying everything up and clearing as many things off the counter as possible. With the dishes done and the countertops clear, it's time to move on to the floors, and I always find it easier if I pick up everything off the floor to start. And as I'm editing this, I'm noticing how I should have washed my windows today too. Oops. Before mopping the floors, I need to get up the dog hair, and so I'm going to be using my floor duster that's from eCloth. This works great on dog hair, and we have so much right now. Austin is definitely having his shed season at the moment, and you're going to be amazed at all of the dog hair that I pick up with this thing. Another reason why I really like using this tool is because it's quiet. So when Patrick's having a meeting upstairs or something like that and I don't want to use the vacuum, I can quickly gather up any dust, dirt, dog hair, anything else that might be on the floor, and look at all the hair between the wall and his crate. This is really where it collects, and this thing really does a good job. I mean, it's so much dog hair right now that I'm kind of pushing it along the floor, but I will show you what the duster looks like afterwards, and you'll see how much it caught as well. We have a central vacuum system in our house, and there's a little port right here in the kitchen, which is really handy for sweeping things in. So I push the excess dog hair into it, and then I go into the laundry room where I can use the vacuum to get up the rest off my dust mop. And then this is ready to go again, or to hang up and use later. And when I want to, I can toss it in the wash and it comes out good as new. And if you guys are in the market for one, I always have my eCloth affiliate link in the description box for you guys to use. Another one of my very favorite tools from eCloth is my mop. It uses a microfiber pad, which is machine washable, and if you dampen it with water, you don't need to use any product, which I love. So I can use it on my tile or my hardwood, and it's completely safe. And of course, it's also safe for my family and our pets. The microfibers trap 99% of dirt and bacteria, so I know when I'm cleaning my floors with it that they are truly getting clean. All of eCloth's mops are great. This particular one has an onboard water attachment so that I can dampen up the pad whenever I need to, or you can use one without. I found lots of times I don't even really need the extra water. As long as the pad is damp, it usually does a great job over a pretty large area. When I'm finished mopping, I take off the pad and leave it to dry here on the sink. It dries pretty quickly, and then I can add it to the basket that I have in the corner where I collect all of my microfiber cloths from eCloth. And once that basket is full, I can run a wash load and they come out good as new. Just like you, I don't usually have all day to clean. As a matter of fact, I spent a lot of my afternoon editing videos, but before I knew it, it was time to get dinner going. For me, in the summertime, I like to make something light and easy that doesn't require me to spend a ton of time getting hot in the kitchen. So tonight, I'm just making some pasta and I'm gonna toss it with some vegetables. It takes several hours after you feed your sourdough starter for it to be effective enough to work in a recipe. So by this time of day, it's the perfect time for me to mix up the English muffins. This English muffin recipe I got from Farmhouse on Boone, so I will have that link down in the description box. I did make an adjustment with the flour from her recipe, so I'll tell you what I'm doing as I'm mixing it up, but if you're interested in the recipe, look for that link in the description box. I took out a half a cup of the starter to use in the recipe, and the rest of the starter I'll put in a jar and keep in the refrigerator to use when I want to make another batch. First, I measure out 2 cups of all-purpose flour and half a cup of whole wheat flour. To that, I add 1 cup of filtered water. This is important because your tap water may contain chlorine that could kill the yeast and prevent your bread from rising. Then you mix in the sourdough starter that you put aside, and once these ingredients are mixed together, you just leave it on your counter overnight so that the sourdough can ferment, and it will be ready to add a few more ingredients to in the morning when you're ready to make your English muffins. morning, I preheat the griddle on our stove to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. And then I take the dough that I mixed together the night before and add 3 ingredients. The first one is a tablespoon of honey. To that, you will add a teaspoon of baking soda and then a teaspoon of salt. Mix everything really well and the dough is ready. I use a little coconut oil on the griddle and I spread it around with this silicone spatula. This is a really great way to get an even coating. And then I use sort of a muffin scoop to drop rounded spoonfuls of the dough onto the griddle. And so I like to make a few sort of extra big, almost double-sized English muffins that we can use for sandwiches during the week, and I'll make a few small ones as well. I have found that 8 minutes is perfect for the first side before I flip them, but I realize that everybody has a different stove, a different type of griddle, or even a different type of cast iron pan, so you have to experiment a little bit, and this is the formula that has worked really well for me. Usually after about 5 minutes on the second side, they are perfect. Before I go, I just wanted to show you how perfect these are. They are absolutely wonderful, but they're really hot, so I'm cutting it open to show you all the little nooks and crannies on the inside. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to give me a thumbs up. It really helps out my channel, and it lets me know that you like videos like this and that you want to see more. I hope you were able to get some motivation and inspiration for your everyday cleaning and homemaking this week. Thank you for spending time with me today. I'll see you in the comments and in the next video. Have a great week.